Guys, please confirm to me. All of you get my voice on screen. Those are attending in online. Please check it. All of you get my voice on screen. Those are attending in online. Guys, please confirm to me. All of you get my voice on screen. Right. Good morning, guys. Right. And check it what we completed in the last session. Okay. All right, sir. Anyway, I think so. We are discussing about steps to prepare first JDBC application. In steps to prepare first JDBC application, what topics we started already? Tell me then overall what are the various steps we require there to prepare this first JDBC application? Install, download and install database software. How many databases we have installed there? 2 databases. Next one is download and install what there? Java software. What versions we require there minimum? Java 7, Java 8 and latest version Java 17. Next one after that. Download and install what there? IDE. What IDE we have used there? What IDE we have used there? Like Eclipse IDE. In the future I may go with what there? IntelliJ IDE also. Understand it clearly. Next one is after that, after completion of this, another point is like what I'm telling to you. Then we need to we need to open the IDE, create Java project. Inside this Java project, inside the main method, what we have to do there, provide JDBC logic. What is that JDBC logic here? We have to prepare there where load and register the driver step. Second one is what there, establish connection between Java application and database. Then after that, what next one here, after completion of this, next one will be create either statement or prepared statement or callable statement. Fourth one is what there, write and execute SQL queries. Next one is what there, close the resources now. Observe carefully. Already we completed what steps there? Load and register the driver we completed. Establish the connection between Java application and database we completed. Am I right or not? Alright, sir. Next one is what there. Then after that, after completion of this, then today here we have to understand like what there, create statement or prepared statement or callable statement as per the requirement. Now here, given already on JDBC architecture and diagram already I am giving there continuously. Alright, sir. Your connection is completed there. Got my point or not? Alright, sir. How we created this connection object there? Any idea? To establish the connection between Java application and database, there we have to use one method from what there, from, observe carefully, from java.sql.driver manager. What this method here we have to use there? Public static connection, get connection, where 3 parameters here we have to pass. What are the 3 parameters here we provided there? First one is a driver URL, second one is database username, next one is what there? Database password. Yes, sir. All of you are getting it or not? No response. And one information I'm telling to you, this Friday max one more company will come to us. This Friday one more company, that company is also be on the base of the core Java, not on the base of too much Java technology. They require core Java, but especially they require some communication, English. Anyway, then this type of people they require. So this Friday we are trying to provide this, but today I will get confirmation from them. If it is confirmed today, then on this Friday, one more company test will come. So better to plan for it, prepare properly for it. Okay, right, sir. Let's come for the point here. So database username and password are the username and password what we provided at the time of database software installation. Next one is what there, driver URL. The driver URL is different from one driver to another driver, but its format is fixed. What is its format actually? Main protocol name colon, sub protocol name colon, database name. Here main protocol name is also be fixed. That is what there, JDBC. Only sub protocol name and database names are going to be varied. Right, so for type 1 driver, we are given some specification. For type 4 driver from Oracle, I given some specification. For type 4 driver provided by MySQL, some other specifications here we are having. Then after one example also here we provided there. When we execute this particular statement, what will happen internally? Internally, JVM is able to perform some actions. What actions are performed by JVM there? JVM will execute get connection method. Inside this get connection method, JVM will access connect method. Connect method will establish the virtual socket connection between Java application and database on the basis of the driver URL. Right, sir. That is internal process there now. Right, sir. After completion of this, then what next one here we provided there? With respect to this connection establishment, JVM will create connection object and JVM, that means get connection method will create connection object and get connection method will return that connection object to the JDBC program. But here we have a question. What was that question here we are having there? In general, in Java applications, we are able to create objects for, we are unable to, right? We are unable to create objects for interfaces. In JDBC API, Java.SQL.connection is an interface for which we are unable to create objects. But how it is possible for get connection method to create an object for Java.SQL.connection interface? That's the question here. In Java applications, we are unable to create objects for interfaces, right? We are able to create objects for concrete classes only, not for interfaces now. In JDBC API, Java.SQL.connection is an interface for which we are unable to create objects. But how it is possible for get connection method to create an object for the Java.SQL.connection interface? What is the answer here we are getting us? What is the answer here we have to say for this question now? Already explained that. Now tell me. JDBC is an abstraction provided by Sun Microsystems and its implementations are provided by database vendors. Part of the JDBC abstraction, Java.SQL.connection is an interface provided by Sun Microsystems and its implementation class are provided by database vendors. In a JDBC application, get connection method is not creating object for connection interface. Get connection method is creating object for what their implementation class of the connection interface. That implementation class object reference value is written from get connection method. Already we understood this point clearly. Right, sir. Okay. Then after understanding this point, I have given some related code, the pseudo code, internally how the code is available there. So observe carefully, connection is provided by Sun Microsystems. Oracle connection is provided by there, Oracle. Driver manager is a class provided by Sun Microsystems. Get connection method return type is connection, where connect method is available to establish connection here. Connection con is equal to new Oracle connection, return con. Here, object we created for what there? Object we created for what there? Database vendor provided implementation class of the connection interface. That object reference here we provided, we returned from the get connection method. In JDBC application, when we call this, first JVM will go to the driver manage.get connection. It will go to the driver manage.get connection method, where it will execute this, find it able to return connection object. That connection reference value will come to what there? Con variable. This is what we completed. Then after that, finally here what we are getting there? Create statement or prepared statement or callable statement as per the requirement. This is what we need to understand clearly. Right, sir. All of you observe carefully. Now here, my question is, in JDBC applications, observe carefully. In JDBC applications, after the connection establishment or after getting the connection, after creating the connection, in JDBC applications, after creating the connection, what is the next job of the developer now? What is the next job of the developer? After creating the connection, developers have to prepare SQL queries and developers have to prepare SQL queries and developers have to execute SQL queries. The remaining part is what there? We have to create SQL queries and we have to execute that SQL queries. That only the remaining work. After getting connection, the remaining work for the developers is what there? We have to write and execute the SQL queries, not any other one. Sir, all of you get my point or not? We have to write and execute SQL queries. Am I right or not? Okay, fine. Observe carefully. Here, in JDBC applications, to write and execute SQL queries, we need some predefined methods. We need some predefined methods. Here in JDBC applications, to write and execute SQL queries, right, sir, we need what there? We need some predefined methods. Got it or not? Right, sir. Here, JDBC API has provided the required methods in the form of, observe carefully, statement, prepared statement. Next one is callable statement. Guys, observe carefully, in the form of like what? The statement, prepared statement and callable statement. This is the requirement to go for what there? Statement, prepared statement and callable statement requirement. Point is very, very simple. Now try to understand it now. What's the point I'm telling to you? In JDBC, after loading the driver, after establish the connection, remaining work for developer is what? Prepare SQL queries and execute that SQL queries. That is, write and execute SQL queries. To write and execute SQL queries, we need some predefined library. We require some predefined methods. The required predefined methods are provided by JDBC API in the form of 3 interfaces. What are the 3 interfaces now? One is what there? Statement. Another one is what there? Prepared statement. And third one is what there? Callable statement. So this is the requirement of what there? Statement, prepared statement and callable statement. Sir, all of you get my point or not? Now, here we have a question. What was the question here we are getting there? What is the difference between statement, prepared statement and callable statement? This question here we have to answer. Now anyway, not complete answer here, just at least a high level answer here I required. I don't require the total complete answer immediately, but I required high-end answer, just one level, 1 point answer here I required from this. Right, sir? First of all, tell me, all of you now tell me, when I submit one SQL query to the database, database engine will execute that SQL query or not? Come on, database engine will execute that SQL query or not? How database engine is able to execute that SQL query? How database engine is able to execute that SQL query? Yes, by following 4 steps. What are the 4 steps there? Query tokenization. Come on here. Speak loudly one time at least. I want to listen your voice now. Then I don't know. Almost 7 to 9 number of batches I'm taking per day. But how much you are silent, no other batches are like this. Are you feeling any guilty? Still you are exploiting your faculty? If it is the case, now tell me, sir. I'll request them to take the class now. Huh? Come on. Forget about all the things. Now I'm talking about JDBs. Already started the content here. Now we are about to write the programs. If you are not giving proper response to me, I'm thinking about it, you are unable to understand the content. Yes, sir. Got it or not? Okay, fine. All right, sir. Anyway, then what is the point we are discussing there? All right, in JDBC, then statement, prepared statement and callable statement. The question is what there? What is the difference between statement, prepared statement and callable statement? Observe carefully. I want to take one simple example. Through that I will explain to you. Everybody. Understand the point here? Very simple example. For example, I started this advanced Java batch, for example. Assume it. And every week I am starting one new advanced Java batch. Assume it. And every week, on every Monday, I am starting one new advanced Java batch. On an average, in every advanced Java batch, for example, 50 students are coming. Simple example I am telling them. 50 members are attending on every exam, on every batch, new batch. Listen carefully. So my intention is what, my requirement is what there. I want to distribute my material to all 50 members. I want to distribute a material to all 50 members on every weekend. So I need to get 50 copies Xerox on every week or not? On every week I need 50 copies Xerox or not? Understand the point here? So what I have to do there, for example, tomorrow is a Monday, new advanced Java batch. It is very confirmed that 50 members will come. So I have to get ready that 50 Xerox copies of my advanced Java notes. Then what I have to do there? First of all, I'll go to the Xerox center. To the Xerox center person there, I have to give the information. This is my original copy. Anyway, I have to bring my original copy along with me. I went to the Xerox center. Then I given my original copy to him. For this book, 50 copies I require. 50 copies I require. Then prepare that. I have asked that how much time it will take now. He said to me, just 2 hours of time it will take now. Okay, then I given my original copy there. I went out. I went some other work. After 2 hours of time, I went there. Then I checked it, the status of that copies now. Then what happened? What he is doing there? I thought of it. All 50 copies are completed within 2 hours of time. But the moment when I go there, when I check the status of that work there, what happened? He's taking third book only. He's taking Xerox copy from what there? Third copy only. Not 50 copies now. Then I asked again, then why you are wasting the time? Why still you are in the third copy only? Then what he is doing the work there? What is the status of that work? What he is doing the work there? He has taken my original copy. First copy, he scanned that entire book there. That book contains 500 pages, for example. All 500 pages is scanned there, and he got Xerox now. Okay, one book, one copy he completed. Next one, what he has done there for the second book also, again he is scanning the entire book and again getting the second copy. For third book, again scanning the entire original copy and getting third copy. And again, fourth book, again scanning that entire book and again getting what there? Fourth copy. Similarly, his thinking is what there? For every time getting one copy, Xerox copy, you want to scan that entire book. Now tell me here, for getting 50 Xerox books now, how many times he has to scan that book now? 50 times he has to scan that book or not? If we continue the same process, every time scanning is required or not required? In general, every time scanning is required or not required? One time scanning is sufficient. We can set up some settings in the Xerox machine. 50, number of copies 50. Automatically we are able to get 50 copies now. Got my point or not? But what is the work he is doing there? What he is doing there? Now he is scanning every time. For getting a single copy, scanning every time. Am I right or not? So in this work, 50 times scanning the book is unnecessary or not? Overall, one time is sufficient. Means that 49 number of times scanning the book is unnecessary or not? Understand guys? This example is very, very important. Then only we can understand these points now. Now tell me, all of you now tell me, if I want to get 50 Xerox copies of my book, 50 times scanning is unnecessary. One time scanning is sufficient. 49 number of times are unnecessary. After completion of one time scanning, in the Xerox machine there is a setting, number of copies for the scan. 50 copies if we provide, automatically we are able to get what there? 50 copies now. Automatically here we are able to get how many copies there? 50 copies here we are able to get. Sir, got my point or not? So here 49 number of times unnecessarily we are doing this work or not? Right sir, this is case number 1. Keep aside now. Case number 2. As usual, alternative I said to you know, one time scan the entire book, then provide the setting 50 copies, directly getting what there? 50 copies. Now tell me, in these two cases now, in which case we are able to get the work performance more? More work performance we are able to get in which case? No, in case number 1 or case number 2? Definitely in case number 2 we are able to get our work performance or not. More work performance we are able to get or not. That means within less time we are able to get 50 number of books or not. But in the case of case number 1, what happened there? Lot of time it will take or not. 49 number of times unnecessarily is doing that scanning or not. But in the case of second case, no, one time scanning, getting 50 times that book or not. 50 Xerox copies we are able to get or not. Understand my point here? So now in the first case, no performance. In the second case, performance will be improved. Right, exactly the concept is what there. First case is nothing but statement. Second case is what there? Prepared statement. I'll explain clearly. Understand it? No? Now tell me. You only tell me. When I send one SQL query to database, no? Database engine has to perform 4 operations. What are the 4 operations the database engine is able to perform there? First one is what there? Query tokenization. Second one is what there? Query parsing. Third one is what there? Query optimization. Last one is what there? Query execution. When we send one SQL query to the database, no? Where a database engine will perform 4 actions: query tokenization, query parsing, query optimization, and query execution. These 4 actions are performed by like database engine. Got it or not? Okay, fine. My requirement is what? I want to insert 100 employees into the database. My requirement is what there? I want to insert 100 employees into the database. Observe carefully. 100 employees I want to insert into the database. When we want to insert 100 employees into the database, how many number of times insert SQL query we have to execute? 100 times we have to execute insert SQL query or not? As you want to insert 100 employees into the database, no? 100 number of times you have to execute that insert SQL query or not? Please recognize my example there. Alright, sir. That means same SQL query in the next sequence 100 times we have to execute. Same SQL query in the next sequence we have to execute. Am I right or not? Now the point is what? For this particular requirement, that means executing 100 times insert SQL query. For this requirement, if we use statement, then what database engine will do? Database engine will treat every time insert SQL query is very same. Every time, for every insert SQL query, database engine will perform query tokenization, query parsing, query optimization, and query execution. Every time, the same insert SQL query. Of course, values are changed, but SQL query is same. But one time execution of SQL query to another time of executing SQL query tokenization is not having any change. Query parsing is not having any change. Query optimization is not having any change. Query execution is anyway, we have to perform execute operation there. Why? Because insert the data into the database table, that we have to do. But query tokenization, query parsing, query optimization, we are not having any change from one time execution of that insert SQL query to another time execution of the insert SQL query. Is all of you following my point or not? So now tell me, in this scenario, database engine is unnecessarily performing 49, that means 99 number of times query tokenization, query parsing, query optimization unnecessarily or not? Is extra time the database engine is working or not? When database engine is working unnecessarily over this, no, automatically execution time, query processing time is increased or not? When query processing time is increased, execution time of the JDBC application is increased or not? Automatically, JDBC application performance will be reduced or not? Understand my point, what I'm telling there? So because of that reason, statement is not providing good performance when we want to execute the same SQL query in the next sequence. But when we want to execute different types of SQL queries, when we want to execute different types of SQL queries, we can go for statement. No difference between statement and prepare statement. We can use statement. But when we want to execute the same SQL query in the next sequence, when we want to execute the same SQL query in the next sequence, there we have to go for what there? Prepared statement. We should not go for what there? Statement. In the case of statement, what happened there? Every time database engine will perform query tokenization, query parsing, query optimization, and query execution. Where query parsing, query tokenization, query parsing, query optimization is not required every time. Why? Because they are not having any change from one time to another time. Not required every time. One time is sufficient. Got my point or not? That's why statement is not providing good performance in our JDBC applications. But when we go for prepared statement, same alternative is available. What is that alternative in the case of prepared statement? No. In the case of Xerox example, one time scanning, getting 50 number of Xerox copies. Similarly, one time if you perform query tokenization, query parsing, query optimization, 100 number of records are going to be inserted onto the database table. 100 times prepared statement is not allowing to perform query tokenization, parsing and optimization 100 times. One time is sufficient. One time only it will perform. The prepared statement will make the database engine to perform only one time query tokenization, query parsing and query optimization, but 100 records are going to be inserted into the database table. As all of you are getting the difference between that statement and prepared statement, no? Now I want to give one simple comment on it, then by that we are able to get some clarity. Observe carefully, the point is what there. In a JDBC applications, when we want to execute all the SQL queries as independent SQL queries, then we will use, if we want to execute all the SQL queries as independent SQL queries, then we will use statement. This is point number one. All of you get my point or not? In JDBC applications, when we want to execute all the SQL queries as independent SQL queries, then we will use what there? Statement. This is a statement situation where we are going to use that. One SQL query is insert SQL query. Another SQL query is update SQL query. Another SQL query is what there? Select SQL query. If we want to execute all the SQL queries independently, no relation between one time to another time, there we will go for what there? Statement. Next one is, in JDBC applications, if we want to execute the same SQL query, guys understand clearly, in JDBC applications, if you want to execute the same SQL query in the next sequence, in the next number of times, same SQL query, there to improve JDBC applications performance, we will use prepared statement. As observe carefully, what is the point I'm telling to you? In JDBC applications, if you want to execute the same SQL query in the next sequence, there to improve JDBC applications performance, we will use what there? Prepared statement here we have to use. Got it or not? Okay, fine. That's enough. The remaining part, internally how database engine is performing all, I'll explain again whenever we are going to talk about prepared statement topic. There we have a separate topic there I will discuss with you. No need to worry for it. Now observe carefully guys, all of you know. Xerox example, once again come to the Xerox center. Xerox example, case number 1, 100 copies I want to get. Xerox person, what he is doing there? For every copy, he is doing separate scanning. Time waste. That's why we went for what their prepared statement. In that prepared statement, what is the alternative? No, one time scanning and provide some setup in the Xerox machine, 100 copies we are able to get. Yes, sir. Am I right or not? This is what exactly the process, difference between statement and prepared statement. It's okay, nice. Now, understand my point now. And every week I'm going to start one new advanced job batch. Am I right or not? Means that on every week I need 100 copies of my book or not. So on every Sunday what I am doing now, I'm getting my Xerox, I'm getting my original copy. I'll bring that original copy to the Xerox center. There I give in that my original copy up to 2 to 3 hours of time. He's doing that Xerox there. He able to get that all the Xerox copies. No, again I'm bringing back that original copy to my home. Again next Sunday, same process. Again I'm taking like my original copy. I'll bring my original copy to the Xerox center. Again I have to give that my original copy to there. Then again here, what I'm telling there, like this, getting some 100 copies and I'm getting back my original copy to my home. See, what is the burden I'm feeling now? Every time bringing my original copy from my home to Xerox center and again getting back that original copy from Xerox center to my home. Then what is the need of it now? Moreover, I'm busy with the classes, for example. I'm busy with the classes now, but I don't have time to bring every time original copy from my home to the Xerox center and getting back it again. But I want to go for an alternative. It's a time waste process even for me. What I'm telling there, what is that alternative I'm expecting there? If I make a call to the Xerox person, he has to make ready that 100 copies, he has to bring that, he has to send that 100 copies to the institute. In that way, I require an alternate. I get my point or not? But if I make a call to the Xerox person, get 100 copies, no. But how we able to get 100 copies, no, without having original copy? I get my point or not? So what I have to do there? What is the alternative for it, no? Alternative is, I should not keep my original copy at my home. I have to keep that original copy to where? To the same Xerox person permanently. Keep that original copy at a location or Xerox center. When I make a call to you, get that original copy, it's already available with you. Then get 100 copies, send that 100 copies to the institute. When I require 100 copies of my advanced Java book, no, I'll make a call to whom there, the Xerox person. Already he has my original copy. He has to get 100 copies over that original copy. He has to send that 100 copies back to the institute there. Now tell me, at a Xerox center only, my original copy is available or not? Permanently I kept my original copy at the Xerox center only. When I require that, I'll make a call. He will send the Xerox copies now. Again here, when I require, every week I require that. That's why every week I will make a call to him, then able to send for there 100 copies here. This is the process which is going on. Am I right or not? No response, guys. All right, sir. All right. Now assume it, Xerox center is a database. My original copy we put at the Xerox center only means that it is called as a stored procedure. Procedure like a Java method in Oracle maybe or in databases, no, stored procedures and functions are available. Then we have to define the database logic at database side only. If we want to define the database logic at database side only, we have to go for what there, stored procedures and functions. Got it or not? Okay, fine. On every Sunday, I'm calling to the Xerox person for getting 100 copies or not? If you want to call that stored procedure or function available database from Java application, if you want to access stored procedure or function available database from Java application, there we have to use callable statement. There we have to use what there? Callable statement. Finally, technical concept. What is the requirement of this callable statement? No. The main purpose of the callable statement is to access stored procedures and functions which are available in database from Java application. To access database managed stored procedures and functions from Java application. To access database managed stored procedures and functions from Java application. For the sake of this, we have to use what there? Callable statements. Answer my point here. Now the simple, another point here, what I'm telling there. In JDBC applications, to access database managed stored procedures and functions from Java applications. From Java applications, we have to use callable statement. We have to use what there? Callable statement. Right, sir. In JDBC applications, to access database manager storage procedures and functions from Java applications, we have to use callable statement. That's it, sir. Now tell me overall, 3 points I have given there about the statement, prepared statement and callable statement. What are the 3 points I have given there? Now tell me. First one is what there? Where we are able to use statements now. When we want to execute all the SQL queries as independent SQL queries, there we have to use what there? Statement. When we are going to use that prepared statement now, in JDBC applications, if we want to execute the same SQL query in the next sequence. If we want to execute the same SQL query in the next sequence, there to improve JDBC applications performance, we will use what there? Prepared statement. When we are able to use callable statement there, now tell me, in JDBC applications, to access database managed stored procedures and functions from Java applications, We have to use what there? Callable statement. These are the things here we have to understand clearly. Got it or not? Next one, guys. All of you observe carefully. At the basic level, JDBC programming, at a very, very fundamental level, JDBC programming, I'm going to use statement only. I'm not going to use prepared statement, callable statement. For startup programs, to start first program, I need to go for what there? Statement only, not any other one. So here the point is what? To create statement in JDBC applications, we have to use the following method. We have to use the following method from java.sql.connection. Java.sql.connection. Observe carefully that method. What is that method here we are providing there? Public statement, create a statement throws a SQL exception. Right, sir. Now here we have to understand clearly. Public statement, create a statement throws a SQL exception. Example I'm telling you now. Statement st is equal to con dot create a statement. Again, similar question will come. Whatever the question we have seen in the case of connection, the same question here we are getting. What is that question, sir? Now observe carefully. In JDBC API, java.sql statement is an interface. Is an interface for which we are unable to create object. For which we are unable to create object. But how it is possible for create a statement method? How it is possible for create statement method to create object for statement interface? Almost a similar question here we provide or not? Alright, sir. Now here, almost all. Same question, whatever the question we have seen there in JDBC, the same question here we understood. Okay. In JDBC application, java.sql statement is an interface for which we are unable to create objects. But how it is possible? How is it possible for the create statement method to create an object for statement interface? Right. Question is right. Guys, now tell me what is the answer for it? No? Same answer. No changes in our answer here. Same answer. Now tell me what is the answer you understood there? Come on. What is the answer here now? JDBC is an abstraction provided by Sun Microsystems, but its implementations are provided by whom? Provided by all the database vendors. All the database vendors. Fine. Next one is like what they now tell me? Java.sql.statement is an interface provided by Sun Microsystems as part of JDBC abstraction. But its implementation classes are provided by the database vendor as part of JDBC abstraction implementation. Got it or not? Okay, now basic awareness I provide. Next one is what is that create statement method? In JDBC applications, In JDBC applications, create statement method. In JDBC applications, create statement method is not creating object for java.sql statement interface. It is creating object for, it is creating what their object for, tell me guys, it is creating object for what their, for the implementation class of java.sql statement interface. Right, sir. Answer my point here. In JDBC applications, create statement method is not creating an object for java.sql statement interface. It is creating an object for the implementation class of java.sql statement interface. That implementation class is provided by database vendors. That implementation class is provided by whom? Database vendors. All of you get my point or not? Right, so now this is what exactly the point here I'm telling there. That's okay, fine. Now I want to provide some pseudo code, that model code. How it is existed here, then I want to provide this code here. All of you observe carefully. Now here, public interface statement. Inside this, some other methods are available, not required immediately. Now tell me, this is provided by whom? Sun Microsystems. Public class Oracle statement IMPL implement statement. Now this is provided by whom? Oracle. Yes, sir. Statement is an interface provided by Sun Microsystems, but Oracle statement IMPL is provided by whom? Oracle. Understand it now. Next one after that. Now you only tell me. Public interface connection. Public interface connection. Now tell me, this is provided by whom? All the interfaces are provided by whom? Sun Microsystems. Public interface connection provided by whom? Sun Microsystems. Public class Oracle connection IMPL implements connection. Now tell me, this is provided by whom? Oracle. Observe carefully. Here we have an abstract method inside this connection interface. Public statement create statement method is available. Public statement create statement. Okay. Now inside this implementation, what we are having there? Public statement create statement. Some logic is executed here. Then after that, statement st is equal to new Oracle statement IMPL return st. That's it. This is create statement method. Now inside this create statement method, statement st is equal to new Oracle statement IMPL. Oracle implemented class is object is created for Oracle implementation class. The reference value is assigned to st variable. That st variable value we return from create statement method. Okay. Then after that, here we have to prepare class JDBC app. Inside this, public static void main string array aux. Inside this, so many instructions are available, of course. Now here we require what there? Statement st is equal to con. Con is what there? What is this con? Connection reference. No. Connection reference dot create a statement. Some other instructions here. Then finally we have to close what there? Main method. Now this is provided by whom? Developers are providing this code. Sir, got it or not? Now I given my model code. How implementation is available? The total model part here I given there. Now tell me, when I execute this JDBC application, when I execute this JDBC application, now tell me what will happen there? JVM will come to the main method. JVM will come to what method here? Main method. Inside this main method, JVM will execute what statement here? Statement S3 is equal to conduct create statement. When JVM is calling conduct create statement method, directly JVM will go to the connection implementation. What is that connection implementation here? Oracle connection IMPL, where it will search for create statement method. Inside the create statement method, then what happened there? No, statement S3 is equal to new Oracle statement IMPL. Object is created for what there? Implementation class of the statement interface. That statement reference value is written from create statement method. The statement reference value is written from what there? Create statement method. Automatically, statement object reference value is written from create statement method. Sir, all of you are getting it or not? Alright, sir. Now, because of this reason only, here we are getting like what there? Statement reference value. That's it, guys. Now, this is about like what their statement. How we are able to get statement in a JDBC application clearly. Alright, sir. In the diagram, statement ST is equal to conduct create statement. So finally here we are getting what their statement object also. Fine. Tell me, all of you now tell me, in a JDBC logic, 3 steps we completed up to now. What are the 3 steps here we completed? Now tell me, what is the first one here? Load and register the driver. Second step is what? Establish connection between Java application and database. Third one is what? Create either statement or a prepared statement or callable statement. Yes, sir. Got my point or not? Tell me, when we are able to use statement object, when we want to execute all the SQL queries independently. One SQL query is a select SQL query, another one is an insert SQL query, next one is update SQL query. There we are going to use what their statement. When we are going to use prepared statement, no, when we want to execute the same SQL query in the next sequence. Same SQL query in the next sequence 100 times now. There to improve performance of the JDBC application, there we will use what their prepared statement. When we are able to use callable statement, no, when we want to access database managed stored processes and functions from Java application, there we will use what there? Callable statement. How we are able to create callable, how we are able to create statement object there? There is a method. What is that method? Create a statement method from connection. Sir, all of you are getting it or not? Alright, sir. Then immediately, example I have given, statement ST is equal to conduct create statement method. Now tell me, again the question. In the JDBC API, java.sql.statement is an interface. Then how it is possible for create statement method to create an object for statement interface? No. In Java, for interfaces, we are unable to create objects. Not possible to create objects for interfaces now. But how it is possible for create statement method to create an object for statement interface? No. Your answer is what there? Create statement method is not creating object for statement interface. It is creating object for the implementation class of the statement interface. Who has provided that implementation class? No. That implementation class of the statement interface are provided by all the database vendors. All the database vendors as part of JDBC abstraction implementation part. This is a point here. Then I've given some coding part here. How we are able to manage this code here. That's okay, fine. After creating this statement object, then what next one here? The fourth step in our JDBC. What's that next one here? Write and execute SQL queries. What next one, sir? Write and execute SQL queries. Observe carefully. Write and execute SQL queries. This is the next one. Right, sir. Observe carefully. In JDBC applications, to write and execute, this is very important point actually. This part is main part. An entire JDBC architecture, this part is the main part. In JDBC applications, to write and execute SQL queries, we have to use the following methods. And we have one doubt there. The statement object we have given information, but how to create prepared statement and how to create callable statement we have not given there. Don't worry. We have separate topics like prepared statement and callable statements in the future. By the time I will give more information, more in detailed information there by the time. But to start first program, I need a statement. That's why I given information about what their statement here. Right, sir. Now come for this. In JDBC applications, to write and execute SQL queries, we have to use the following methods. What are the following methods here? We have to use there. Observe carefully. First one is execute query method. First method is what there? Execute query method. Second one is what there? Execute update method. Second one is what there? Execute update method. Third one is what there? Execute method. These are overall three methods are existed here. Observe carefully. Load and register the driver is completed. Connection is ready. First one is what there? Create a statement or prepare a statement or like callable statement. That is also ready. The remaining part is what there directly write and execute SQL queries. To write and execute SQL queries, we need some predefined methods. The predefined methods are provided by statement already. What predefined methods are provided by statement now? If you have to this, three methods are provided by statement. What are the three methods which are provided by statement here? First one is what there? Execute query. Second one is what there? Execute update. And next one is what there? Execute method. These are the three methods what we are having clearly. Now here it is very, very important interview question for us. In entire JDBC, this is a main important interview question that we have to understand. What is that interview question actually? That question is, what is the difference between execute query method, comma, execute update method, and execute method? What is the difference between execute query method, execute update method, and execute method? So this is the main concept. This we have to understand clearly, right? So this part I will discuss with you tomorrow, guys. Then tomorrow we are going to see that, and I'm requesting to everybody today at least half of the point I wanted to discuss there, but unfortunately it was not happened there. The total time was taken for only explaining that statement only. So tomorrow directly, without giving any repetition for the previous concepts, but because hardly I required 1 hour, perfectly I required 1 hour. Tomorrow I will not give any previous class repetition. Directly I will start this concept only. So I'm requesting to everybody, before come for tomorrow's class, please read the concept, whatever the topic, whatever the notes are given there. Read the concept and come to the class now. Within 1 hour and giving 15 minutes of time recap now, as a time waste now. That's why tomorrow directly I want to go for this topic. Before come for the class, try to read the total content and come for the content now. So directly tomorrow I'm going to finish that all the steps there. If time is permitted, I will prepare the first JDBC program. Whatever the steps I have given there, all the steps I want to gather into a single program, then where I'm going to prepare the first JDBC program clearly. Okay. Thank you guys. Thanks a lot. You'll see the remaining part and tomorrow.